Go ahead.
Okay, so welcome to week 14 of NFL Vegas Horse Pools Circa Survivor, Circa Millions. Obviously, we've been dead in the Survivor for a while, but it's gotten interesting there on the Millions. So, right now, Scott, I'm still at the racetrack. Horrible fucking result today. I'm in front of the car headlights. So, let's give it a whirl. And what have you got?
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome Andy to the show here. Andy, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, always been a big fan, mainly of your poker playing. Never was really too much into the blackjack, but I've always been a big fan of watching you play cards. So I'm glad you're able to join us today, and we'll see what you're able to add to our crazy show here. But Adam, do you want to tell us a little bit about the horse race before we get started, or do you want to just get
Uh,
started?
no, like, let's fucking throw it down. I mean, he was put in the stall early. He was in there for literally about 6 minutes, 48 seconds. He jumped out like literally dead last or second to dead last. And it was never a chance. He ended up running sixth or seventh, 6 furlongs behind. Ran the race in a minute 38. And I think 4/5, which is well beyond what they can run at 137, 138 flat. But it is what it is, and now we have a good horse in Jamaica, and on to next year.
There you go. There you go. Andy, you might want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself because there's a lot of sports guys that watch this that may not know a whole lot about your background. You want to give us your elevator pitch, if you will?
Sure. I went to MIT, and then a little bit after I graduated, I started playing poker, and then I was looking for the MIT blackjack team because I figured out how to beat a game, and they ended up finding me, and I joined we beat a game at Foxwoods, and then I got recruited for the MIT blackjack team, and then just continued on playing poker, paid my way through law school, so with my blackjack and poker earnings, and then went back to playing poker. And now I do a little bit of sports betting the last couple of years. I worked part-time for Susquehanna International Group, and they started up doing some sports betting, a sports betting group a few years ago. And so I do some analysis of their strategies, like about halftime.
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay. Well, let me pull up our board real quick. We've got 4 games on our board this week. Andy, I don't know if you want to talk about any of the games here. I guess we'll start with Adam, though. We'll start at the very top. There was there were 3 of these games were highly picked by Millions Contest VHP users this week. The very first one was none other than the Saints game. Adam, you want to tell us any inside information behind the book at Prime, specifically at Prime Ohio, because those guys generally do a little bit better. Where do you stand on this game?
So just to let you know, Scott, I've gotten the numbers, I've gotten the charts. They're all written on the back of a Krispy Kreme donut box that I found in the car. So we're going very high tech and professional tonight.
Okay.
This game in particular, again, was the 4.5, which is what they all played at Circa. It's now 5.5. It's very well balanced for us.
Okay, so no big deal there.
So nothing really standing out here, but obviously with the Circa Millions, they sort of took the 4.5 when the numbers moved to 5.5.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Andy, do you have any opinion on this game, or do you have no opinion on this game?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I picked this game. I did pick the Panthers against the Eagles, so we can talk about that a little bit later.
Perfect. We'll go right straight into the Panthers game. And this is a big game to talk about for a couple of different reasons. There was a big story on Twitter about Circa taking a $3 million bet on the Eagles in Kentucky, not in Vegas, but in Kentucky. Adam, you got any inside information on that transaction? Or did we lose you?
No, it was at the money line or at the spread?
No, money line.
No, I'm here. You money line or the spread? Yeah, I mean, this is where again, those people that think this is better than bank interest take a shot on these, but they're the things that I want to lay all day long, which our Ohio fan found out on Ohio State last week.
Yeah, that's for sure. So are you balanced on this game, or did this $3 million trickle into Prime?
No, we haven't seen anything on the money line, but right now we're about 70% of the money is at the on Philly at the minus 12.5 and 13. Obviously, again, a top-down play, 12.5 moved to 13.5. And I think everyone's just thought, again, this time of year, Carolina are just giving up.
Gotcha. Andy, you said you had a play on this game.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like pick the side I think other people aren't going to pick, and maybe I was wrong, but I picked the Panthers in this game.
A contrarian play, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm just trying to
Gotcha.
increase the variance a little bit, and even if I think it might be a little bit the worst side, if I think other people are going to pick the other side, then that's it. Or if I don't have any time to actually look up the games and analyze it and do any real math, and I think it might be better just to do it randomly sometimes.
Gotcha. Okay, well,
I agree there.
I'm going to skip the Jets, Gary V's team. I'm going to skip them, and we'll go down and take a look at the Seahawks. This was another highly picked game on the Circa Millions for VHP customers. What kind of inside information do you have on this one, Adam?
Yeah, so we've got 60% of the money is on Seattle. It's all at the 3. Obviously, the line's gone to 2.5 now, which we haven't seen much on Seattle at the 2.5. They all got it early and they've taken the 3. Few bought the 3.5. But right now, yeah, we're sitting about 62% of the money on Seattle.
Gotcha. Okay. Andy, did you play this one this week?
I did not.
Did not. Okay. Well, here's the last one that we really wanted to talk about, and I just want to do a real quick break here. Georgia is ahead 16-13. We've got approximately 2 minutes to go. They just threw an interception. Texas has the football. This has been an incredible game. Probably one of the better games this year. So it's coming right down here to the wire. But Adam, go ahead and give us some insight on this Jets game.
Yeah, so let me just throw in one other one that I have here. I know it was like the 4th pick in the millions. Minnesota minus 5.5, which I believe the game's around that. We've got 66% of the money on Minnesota and 90% of the pro money on Minnesota. After picking Minnesota last week, I definitely wasn't going to make this our big game. Yeah, there is 6s popping up because always when you pick one side one week and go against them the next week, that's certain death. So talking about the Jets game, that's going to be our play this week. Funnily enough, our first 2 plays, I believe, that started our run was against the Jets.
Yep.
I'm seeing 80% of the money on Miami, and I'm seeing 80% of the Weiss guy money on the Jets. So this game's kind of fallen in parameters that really works well with the previous run that we're on. And as we're starting a new run, this was the standout. So right now we're looking at Jets plus 6. As I said, 80% of the money on Miami overall, but 80% of the sharp money is on the Jets. So we're going to ride the Jets this week.
That sounds good. And we last week was our first miscue on our picks. Do you want to talk about how that came out and how that affected the books week?
Yeah, so I mean that one, it was kind of actually a good example. Didn't feel the confidence. I watched back the stream that we did. It was kind of an iffy bet because yes, the money was on the Cardinals, but the pro money was on the Cardinals as well. So it was a kind of it was a weak pick if we look at all the others that we'd done previously. And if I'd played that sort of hunch or whatnot the week before, we would have ended up on Dallas. But the hindsight of it is most of the betting is getting done on live these days. So the idea is to have that information. So you could have, if you bet at the start of it, played again pretty much Minnesota at any point in the game, and you would have been getting decent money on the money line or even plus points when they were down 19-6. So the idea is now with today's betting, it's not 20 years ago when you had to bet pregame and cross your fingers and hope no matter what the result was. This world today, you have cash outs, you have live betting and all those kind of things. So the idea is to kind of grab that information, watch the game, see how it's playing as well. And there was also opportunities there where you could have used that information and gotten on Minnesota at an earlier time. Now, a lot of the times those games just swing one way and there's never an opportunity, both if it goes in your favor and if it goes against you. But this is where there was definitely an opportunity. You have the information. We're looking at -3. There was multiple points in times where you were getting plus money Minnesota to win the game, and even plus, more than a field goal. So it's just not the old game that it used to be, where you were looking at pregame, you got the pregame information. There's so many opportunities to get into the game today. So it's, again, collectively using that, splitting your stake between different stages of the game. But at the end of the day, our pick lost. We own that it lost. The run was dead.
Yep.
And here we are about to start again.
We're going to start another big run. Andy, I'd like to ask you the question about live betting. Do you do any live betting at all? I'm not hearing Andy. Does anybody else hear him?
Sorry, I was muted.
No, it's got-
I was saying,
there you go.
I like to do it for fun sometimes. It to help. Actually, it definitely keep the game exciting. And there's sometimes there's big opportunities in live bets if you're quick enough. Yeah.
That's true. I guess I'm so soured on live betting because I used to be a live betting trader for a sports book, and I just know all the advantages that they have, which just is overwhelming. So you've got to be really, really good to be winning it live.
It's really hard if you're watching from a delayed broadcast, which a lot of people are. You're just going to be 7 seconds, 10 seconds behind or so, and so you pretty much can only really trade during the breaks. That's pretty much it, right?
100% agree.
But hey, you can be at the game itself and actually have a slight edge. Although I'm not sure about the legality of that if you're actually at the game. But some places anyway, they don't look too highly on court sighting. Even though you're at the game and it's exciting, it can be even more exciting if you can place a few bets.
Definitely, court sighting is a huge advantage if you can get away with it. Looks like we just lost Adam. He must have had trouble with his car there. But I think that's about all we wanted to cover this week. Looks like the Georgia game still got almost 2 minutes left to go in it. Real good ball game. I highly recommend you guys finish watching that one up. Andy, I couldn't tell you how happy I am for you to join us this week. It was a great honor for me to be able to talk to you, not only at the last Bet Bash, but the one before that. So I want to thank Spanky for setting up Bet Bash and giving me a chance to meet you. So you're going to be at Bet Bash the next one, correct?
I'm planning on it. We still got a few months to go. So
yeah, I'm planning on it already. I'm ready. I always love Bet Bash. I do want to thank you for being here this week. I'll go ahead and we'll sign off here, even though we've lost Adam. Don't forget, his pick this week is the Jet. You guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.